all right. Friday afternoon. How's it ever going? Try that again. All right. Friday afternoon. Okay, how's everybody doing this afternoon? I am peachy with a side of key. And hoping that we don't lose any power. There's a little bit of a thunderstorm cell hanging out over the top of good old Reed's Spring this afternoon. We don't have the most stable power here in the Ozarks. For some reason, probably the fact that you go down like 2.5 inches, hit bedrock, don't bury power lines out here. So a good storm can knock us out. If I lose power, I hope you had fun being here, and if otherwise, whatevs. Thanks for coming by. So, anyway, it's Friday afternoon. It's time to do a stream. We're going to be working on some more of these product things. So, I will be doing some more designing Christmas cards. That's the plan. Why is this? My window capture. There we go. Apparently having it so you can capture any window with that title just wasn't good. So there we go. So anyway, we're back into working on Christmas cards. It is starting to feel a little more fun for me. I actually made another card off stream for a picture that I had done. So I went ahead. I told you guys I was going to. I went ahead and I made a greeting card based on my zombie Santa. Go ahead and show you guys that fast. I had fun with it. Pull it up. I wasn't thinking I should have prepped, but you know me. I'm not very professional. Here, I'll pull up this one. This is one of my listing images. I see. So here is this card that I did earlier this week. I took my zombie Santa image and put it on the outside. A little message there with it. Hope your Christmas spirit never dies. I'll just resurrect it. So I liked that concept of this, like, let's resurrect our Christmas. You know how these kind of things are. Fun. It's fun times. So I am going to look at. We have already done right now. We've done a gaming card. We did a retro or gaming. We did a retro gaming card. That's in the works. Did some art for it. I got a zombie card. So we can consider those three done. Go any done. So let's look at what else I've got going on. Like, what are the other categories that I do? This is kind of one of those things. I tell people, defenses make creativity. So I have Animal Geeks. I've got some ideas for some Animal Geek cards. We've got Geek Culture. We got Sci-Fi. We got Fantasy. Cosmic Horror. And Mental Health Advocacy. Those are my big categories that I like to play in when I'm designing products for my store. So I think Yay. Let's do some sci-fi. Let's do a sci-fi card. Let's draw a robot Christmas card. My robot Valentine's robots are pretty popular at the market. Do some Christmas robots. Mother's Day robots actually worked really well too. Um, if you were curious about, I did a couple of cards for Mother's Day and Father's Day. They're basically the exact same card. They're more or less the same card with different color schemes. And I will show you. This is my Mother's Day card version of it, and it's just binary. That says "I love my mommy," and of course I have a Father's Day version. So let's do a binary. And those cards, like I said, those cards are popular. So let's do a binary robots Christmas card. I think would be a great idea. So we'll go ahead and just kind of split this card in half so that we are only working in the area we need to be working in. I'm going to take this down. Different guys. I'm working on my 5x7 print slot here, so smaller than I normally work. So let's go ahead and give ourselves the retro futurist robot card. So retro future robots have box heads. They're a whole species of robots. And they have little box bodies. We'll start there. We'll just box in a body. Give it a little neck. Box. There. I think I'm going to make facing. So it's looking this way, right? That's what I'm doing there. YouTube told me there's not getting enough audio. Probably because my microphone was way over there. Is that better? Yeah, yay, yay. Okay. Good times. Good times. And we'll close out all of that. Just give ourselves a little bit of breathing room here. So yeah, now that I've been talking this whole time without any real audio going on, we're gonna do a retro futurist robot. Just in case anyone missed all of that, I should have been paying more attention to my wave stream. Hi Garrett. Gonna make a yay. Everybody's coming in now. Yay! I guess it's because I fixed my audio. My microphone is on a swing arm that I push out of the way when I'm not recording or doing any of this stuff. So I pushed it all the way over. Anyway, we're working on Christmas cards, and I decided that I wanted to do a sci-fi card. And the card I am working on right now is going to be the Christmas version of my Mother's Day and Father's Day binary robot card. So this robot is looking this way, is basically where I was saying when I realized that when YouTube told me I wasn't giving it any audio. So anyway, here we are. I've got my little robot drawn. He's looking up this way, so I'm going to give him like a big bag of stuff coming out the back. And I think retro future robot is going to be wearing a Santa hat. So give him his little eyes, little mouth. And because he's wearing a Santa hat, we'll give him and hold a bag of candy, or bag of toys. This bag will come here over like this. So he'll need a hand here. That'll be one arm. I'll have the other arm come out like this. And that's gonna be it. These cards are pretty basic. Again, I guess I can show them again. In case anyone hasn't seen, this is my Mother's Day version. Just a little two robots hugging, and it says "I love my mommy" in binary. I have a Father's Day version too, so we're gonna do a Christmas version. Uh, so that's gonna be the rough image that we're going for. So I'm just gonna take that and draw in some details now. So let's come in here, grab our smaller brush, and just give it a little robot eye, robot smile. I think I want to do like that. Then a little hat. Come like this. Little robot head coming out. Down like that. Bag of candy for him would be nuts and bolts. Oh, is that candy or is that just their normal food? I guess at Christmas you do eat a lot of nuts at Christmas. I mean, when you go to Christmas parties, there are often assorted nuts available for people to partake if they choose to partake of nuts. Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know what is in Robo Santa's bag. It could be candy. It could be hardware upgrades for his fellow robots. It could be toys for all the good little Toddbots. Toddlertrons. Toddlertrons. And he's gonna have a little hose arm. And we'll come back over here and do the same thing. Hose arm. So back like this. Little body coming out. I think I'm showing off a little more on this robot than I did on the Mother's Day cards because I've been practicing a lot of perspective, and so I've gotten a lot better at it. I mean, I'm still not a master of it, but I've gotten a little better. So yeah, that's a happy little robot guy. We might do more than one card tonight. I might be productive. I might be able to get more than one card done this week without just WD-40. Yeah, without stealing art I did last year. All right, so let's do some inking. Flat brush. This might be too big. It's gonna be too big. Let's take it down to half size. That looks better. There we go. I had to shrink my brushes down because when I do art normally, I do like an 8K canvas. So my canvas is huge. But when I'm doing greeting cards, in order to keep my 5x7 image size intact, I often go smaller without realizing it because there's a 5x7 preset. And then I get into it and I go, oh, I really should have done this but on a much bigger canvas. Not that it matters too much because I work almost exclusively with vector images. So, like, size is not a big deal for me. I can reprint anything pretty much any size without losing any detail, but it is annoying when I do that. And it's all on me. And it's because I like to work at ginormous sizes, and Adobe's like, you really don't need that many pixels to draw a greeting card. It's a 5x7 print, so you only need, 1500 by 2100 pixels. Boop. Boop. If I'm going to use the auto snapping, I'm going to make noises. Boop. I'm not liking this. I'm having a hard time drawing a circle all of a sudden. It happens to the best of us. There, that's better. The brush I like to use is actually not quite circular. It is thinner than it is tall. So like sideways lines are thicker. Anyway, it's like, you know, like a calligraphy pen. But what that means is sometimes if I don't have the paper turned at the right angle, it doesn't give me the look I'm looking for. Like right now. But that's okay. You know, there's a solution to that is to use a different brush. So we'll do that. We'll bring this guy down to 6. Also, I don't like that either. I'm not sure I like these eyes having the line on the outside. I might just keep them simple. My Mother's Day robots all just have this face, so that's fine. Let's give him a little smile. You know what else this Santatron needs? If he's gonna be playing Santa, he's gonna need a beard. And since robots can't actually grow beards, it's gonna need to be taped on to the face. So we'll come in here and we'll just like do this. And have a little taped on beard there. Like so. Give it some little strips. There we go. Robot beard. Taped on robot beard. And then bendy neck. Coming around. So I can use the thin part. There we go. That's a fun looking robot. All right, now we'll come in here and I'm just going to do this top of this satchel. Just bring it in like this. Do this thing that I've been doing with my Augusts. And then we can put his clampers on there. Give him the clamps. Boss, I should give him the clamps. Big fan of Futurama. That's probably obvious to a lot of people. Yeah. And there, like that. And I'm actually going to have you there. There. That looks good. Those are the clamps. He's got the clamps. That arm around. I actually want to make that arm even more rubber hosey by bringing it around like this. I want a smoother curve on it. That. And then we can do the same thing here. We go out and around. Down and around like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's looking fun. I'm liking this. And clip that little right there. All right, so now we can come in and say, boop, 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 boop. This is a rubber hose arm. Do, 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 do. Literally. Wesley. So, if you don't know, that's a double reference. There's a cartoon. It was an awesome cartoon a long time ago. And then they remade it, and it was a not as awesome cartoon. And maybe it's just that the original cartoon doesn't hold up, but I haven't seen it in so long. It's called Clone High. It was on MTV. And it was basically like a teen drama in the style of a Dawson's Creek or a One Tree Hill, you know, that kind of teen WB style teen drama. And the plot was that the government in the 80s had cloned a bunch of historical figures, and so they were now all in high school as millennials. Like younger millennials, not older millennials like me. I was clearly into my late out of high school by the time Clone High came on. But that was the premise of the show. And there was a character, Mr. Butlertron, was the principal's robot assistant, and he himself was a reference to Mr. Belvedere, which was an 80s TV show, if you can remember that far back in time. And the main character, the main teenage boy in that family, was named Wesley. So Mr. Butlertron would always help the clones with whatever clone thing was going on with them, and they'd be like, Wesley. Anyway, that's the story of Clone High. There is the show. It is available on HBO Max now, and they did do a remake, a reboot, sequel series, I guess, kind of. And like I said, I don't think it's as good, and I don't know if it's because my nostalgia is kicking in, and so I haven't actually watched the original Clone High. It is also on HBO Max. I just haven't watched it because I'm really afraid that it is my nostalgia that makes me think it's awesome, and not, you know, that the cartoon was as good as I remember it being. And I don't want to find out. I'm afraid to find out. I'm digging this little robot guy here. He's making me happy. And for this card on stream, I'm just going to draw this one robot. I will do the binary code off stream because I'll have to actually calculate the binary. And by calculate the binary, I mean going into chatbot and asking it to give me the binary, and then double checking it with a couple of other chat robots and a binary translator. But little Santa robot is actually making me pretty happy in and of himself right now. I like it. I like it quite a bit. It looks good. If I can, I will do my best to get this robot card done, so I'll have some at the market tomorrow. I have stickers to cut tonight too, so hopefully the power does stay on. I don't run my sticker cutter while I'm streaming because it eats up energy, but the last of my Eldritch Breakfast Club stickers are being cut today. Right now, the criminal, little John Bender Cthulhu, it's the name of the character. And anybody who's interested, those guys are being cut. But I also have some of these dudes ready to go. The principal there, looking good. This is my box of Patreon stickers. My tray of Patreon stickers. So, if you are interested in getting those stickers and you're not currently a member of the Patreon, you can head to patreon.com/TacoVikingStudios and join up, and you can get a full set of Eldritch Breakfast Club stickers, including this exclusive principal. And an 8x10 of the movie poster print, which I have one over here printed and ready to go it's out of reach. So anyway, you could totally check that out if you were inclined. All right, let's color this guy in. Let's color this robot so he can enjoy Christmas. So I'm just gonna do this little backdrop. And I like keeping these guys a little pastel when I'm working on them. So I'm gonna start with a red, solid red, and then we'll just lighten it up. Or maybe, yeah, we'll do that for his robot bits. Like his torso and his head. Like that. And then we'll do a green, just keeping him Christmas themed, but we'll do a dark green on the rubber hose parts. Boop boo doo doo boop. Boo doo 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 boop. Boo doo 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 boop 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 boop. Alright. Oh, and his neck is a rubber hose part. There. And then we'll do a much more saturated set for the parts, like the clothes he's wearing. So we'll do like a full red on the hat and the bag. I like that a lot. That's bag. Okay. And then we'll come in here. Be white. And we'll give him a little bit of gray for the clamps. Little robot scissor hands. And this actually has a piece that needs to be deleted. There we go. I should get a thing that holds my iPad up here so I can look up more. I need to be better about looking up more. All right, and then he needs eyes. I don't want to give him glowing red eyes because he's a Santa robot, and red eyes means the robot is angry. So I think I'm gonna give him blue eyes because that makes him a happy robot. But I do need to put those blue eyes on the right layer. Oops. And then we're going to check the values on this because I'm worried that the saturation level or that the values are not going to read well. And the way I do that is I just create a new layer and I fill it with black, like the miasma of my soul, and change the blend mode on that layer to hue. And that gives you this kind of grayscale version of the image, so you can kind of get an idea of what the art looks like if you can just check the values. So the contrast actually is pretty good. It's actually better than I thought it was. We can also look at it as white. Works the same way. Yeah, so this isn't too bad. He looks pretty happy. I like it. I'm thinking though that there's too much red in here. So maybe because he's wearing a red hat and carrying a red bag, to get those Christmas colors back, we'll switch him from this red to a green version on this color here. So he's like a little green robot who's dressed in red. And again, I'm just using red and green because they're Christmas colors, and it makes me happy to do that. And so we still have good contrast that way. There we go. Still looks good. So, and like I said, it gives me less red. There was too much red, too much overpowering red in the image. So there we go. Actually, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm overthinking these eyes. We'll make them yellow. Yellow eyes. That always works. When in doubt, robots can have yellow eyes. It's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Robots can always have yellow eyes. You can get away with it at any time. Okay, cool. So we've got this robot, and we can add some shading to him. I think. Just do our old 80% brightness gray, multiply layer shading. I'm just gonna do it real fast because he will get away with doing it real fast, I think. And I'm just blocking in the parts I want in shadow. And I'm going to use a reference. I'm using my line art still as a reference layer so that I don't have to be super precise when blocking in this shading. So like I did just there where I left this beard. I don't necessarily want the beard to be shaded there, but I don't have to worry about it because of the lines will still act as the lines. Although I do want this part of the beard shaded. I want that to be shaded. And I think that needs some shaping to the shading to give it a little depth on the beard. And then I do think I'm going to come up here and add some shading on the hat. So I always like it when I'm working on this because that gray comes in and it really shows me. Like I actually sometimes will just work in the white and gray and black when I'm doing shading because it gives me a good idea of what I'm looking at and lets me know like this is a good way of seeing how your shading looks is basically what I'm saying here. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to what I'm doing right now is I'm basically going into this bag because I'm going to do adding shading in this bag. I'm selecting the whole thing and then I'm going to cut out the places where the light is hitting it to kind of make it easy for me to come through and go, okay, that's shaded, that's shaded, that's shaded, that's shaded. So again, just taking a couple of shortcuts that I've picked up over my art journey. And I want that to be a little more curved. So I'll just redraw that circle and erase. And that looks pretty good. He should probably have this arm. Should be shaded in the back because it's behind him. That inside underneath. That's gonna be good. And I think we're gonna come in and do this back shoulder, face coming across like that. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. That looks like a good shading set. So now I can turn the color back on and change this layer to multiply. And that shading kind of fades in and becomes a nice little thing there. And because I'm going to need to work on this guy in Illustrator, I can't actually just leave the multiply layer in there. I need to come back in, basically, and magic wand this entire layer. Oops. And invert. And then I will need to, what all I have to do is grab each color of shading. How come that is not? Oh, because I'm still using reference layer. And go over the top of what I was just doing. So there we go. Tap that in, tap that in, tap that in. we're just putting in color. Oops. I'm on the wrong layer. I can actually work on that layer because I can put that in. And when I switch this back from multiply to normal, we will have the right color set in there again. And that's really the important part. I want this to be on multiply for now. So I can grab this dark green and it just bounce back and forth. Makes it easy because then I can go, yeah, this is the dark green is on here. But the big thing with this is if you are working in Fresco and you want to move into Illustrator with your vector objects, you can do that. But if you have blended what I'm looking for here. If you're using blend modes on your layers, it will rasterize those layers. So you lose all of your benefits of working in vector, I guess is what I'm trying to say here, because it's rasterized the layers. But like again, simple solution of just take your colors back and put them back in as solid colors, you know? I actually need to undo a section that I just did because I did the gray in there. I guess it's the same. I guess it's the same because it's white. It's 80% gray over the top of white. Obviously, it's the same. It's always going to be the same. That's just how that works. When you darken gray or darken white, you get gray. That's how color works. So anyway, now instead of having my shading as all gray, I have my shading as individual colors that can then be used in Illustrator later. So that helps quite a bit. And I'll just kind of collapse this whole stack down. And that is going to be the art for this first card. So we have a card done. This is one card done, 42 minutes. That's good. That means we have about exactly enough time to do a second card. I feel confident in how tonight is flowing along. So let's save this guy here. Let's give it a title. Binary. Oops. Let's get rid of all that. Binary Christmas. And save. There we go. That's good. So does anyone have anything like they would like to see? Any particular aspect of my art they'd like to see come on a Christmas card? Is there something you were really hoping and looking forward to seeing me do? Maybe I don't know. I've got so far we have done a zombie card, we have done a retro gaming card, we've done a tabletop gaming card. This is going to be a sci-fi card. Is there anything that you guys are really hoping I would work on and do a card for this year? Because if there is, I would be happy to work in that direction. Otherwise, I'm just going to go back to kind of the basic good old drawing board and start something different. You know what I mean? So I know I have a 5,000 by 7,000 canvas there. So now I'm back to having a full big size canvas again. If not, I'm going to leave that open until 4:45, so one more minute. If not, I'm going to, I think, start brainstorming some kind of Cthulhu cosmic horror Christmas card. and I don't know what that's gonna be yet. Uh, I don't think I want to just go generic Cthulhu wearing a Santa hat. I feel like that's been done to death. Uh, but I don't know. I my Cthulhu Lovecraftian stuff is pretty popular also. Actually, something that is really popular is, surprisingly to me, because it was created as a joke and then I had the image so I printed it, was Swoller Man. So if you haven't been by my booth, Swoller Man is the Slender Man's gym obsessed cousin. He helps you hone the flesh prison. If you don't get your steps in, he will kidnap you away to his forest gym where he will force you to get your reps. So maybe a Jolly Man. Maybe we'll do a Christmas themed Slender Man variant. I like that concept. All right, so since nobody has thrown anything else out, let's do a Christmas themed Slender Man variant. That's what we're gonna work on. I'm gonna get some reference art pulled up. Christmas theme. Let's see if anyone else has done this before I get all feeling clever. Sometimes you get an idea. All right, so it looks like some people have just slapped Santa outfits onto a Slender Man, and that is not good enough for me. That is not what I'm about. I like to take it much deeper than that. So let's grab our brush, take this back up to like size 80. There we go. We're back in business now. We're back on a full-sized canvas. I do like Santa. I totally could do something with like Norse mythology also. There is a reason I'm the Taco Viking. So we're gonna put a little Slender Man head there. And we're gonna follow the pattern. We'll give him a funny hat. But we're going to, instead of like doing a Slender Man in a Santa outfit that's super generic, I want to make a Santa cryptid thing. So my plan here is, instead of going like Slender Man in a Santa outfit, it's going to be like Santa as Slender Man. So we will actually not have a Slender Man at all. We're going to have kind of a jolly fellow. I'm going to start by giving myself a body to work off of here. And I think this is okay. So this is a thing with me. This is a me thing. I think it is really funny when cartoon characters have disproportionate bodies. So like, I know I'm not alone there. Like, that's a principle of animation. It's part of an appeal thing. But I really like the idea of tiny legs and huge upper bodies. I think it's really funny. And I think Tim Burton would agree with me. That's why his Santa Claus had tiny legs and a huge upper body. So we're gonna start there. We're gonna start with like a dumpy Santa with tiny legs, huge upper body. And I'm gonna give him fairly broad shoulders. And come in like this. And then that's where we outline some tentacles. And then my problem with what I've gotten here, this is I'm visually brainstorming. My problem with this is that this is a very boring pose. So I'm just kind of giving an A-frame brainstorm, but we're gonna have to redraw most of this whole image, and we'll give him a big old beard. Yeah. So this is kind of fun. I'm gonna tap those together. And now let's give him a dynamic Santa. Make Swoller Man the Abominable Snowman. Ooh, I could have done that. That's a good idea. I'm gonna put that on a note card. I'm putting it on a note card. If I can figure out what I did with my pens. I've been semi-cleaning today, and semi-cleaning is not all the way cleaning, and if I'm ever in between, bad things happen. I can't find anything. So, Slender, Swoller, Abominable, Snowman. So yeah, two cosmic horror themed ideas so far. That makes life better, easier. All right, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to give myself a ground plane again, and I think I'm going to do little hips, and we're going to use the swooshies method. Rodgan, the artist, is an illustrator who does YouTube and TikTok videos, and he has his own weird language that he uses for how he does things, and part of it is he has what he reread make Swoller Man the abdominal. Oh, that is super clever. The abdominal snowman. Yes, I definitely because now you're crossing into multiple niches because now we've got Gymspiration. Abdominable. But with 3 underlines. I underlined it thrice. Anyway, Rodgan has his own language, and one of the things he does is he calls it the swooshy. When he's kind of coming up with a pose, he'll be like, this is my hips, and then leg will come here and swooshy, and leg will come here and swooshy, and up here we'll have torso, shoulders, swooshy. Now that's a person. And I thought that concept works for me in my head because it's silly language. So we've got a foot, one leg here, and a foot coming out this way. And I think I'm gonna swooshy back this way. So he's got a leg coming like this. So we've got like a old school Popeye style walk. And like Pete from Disney shows, like used to be enemy of Goofy and then became enemy of Mickey and became Goofy's next door neighbor. So we'll give him that kind of dumpy hang down body, like myself. Come out, shoulders out, neck up here, and basic head shape. This is much smaller than I intended it to be. I'll probably have to grow this up. About one arm, yeah. Coming out and across. Because he's Santa and he's still nice and happy. He's saying hi. And then we're going to move this over. Because I think now I'm going to have this bag that I'm putting way more detail in than I need to for a sketch. And we'll have his tentacles coming out and wrapping around the bag to carry it away. You know what else? I just thought of would be a great thing to put on a card. Something that does not get nearly enough attention in the United States. I need to make a Krampus card. Because I was looking at this and going, if that bag was labeled naughty children. Yeah, little tentacle. There. And then bushy beard on a completely otherwise blank face. Santa hat. And I'm gonna erase the ground plane now. And blow this up. And then I can get rid of that guy. I don't need that layer anymore there. Okay. So that's a pretty, this is a much more dynamic pose. I like this. So now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab my detail pencil and draw in this face, this blank face with a mustache and beard. I actually think I need a little more clean line. Okay. So this. I think Santa Claus has a bit of a handlebar mustache. So bring this up like this. There's one thing I know, it's how to draw a face with a beard. That's right, Krampus. And I was like, Slender Man would make a great Krampus. Hair like that. Beard. That doesn't look good. There we go. There we go. That'll look better. Just a blank face sticking out from behind Santa's beard. Add a little fluffy trim, feather fur trim to his jacket. So here's okay. The big question, I think. I want him to have a big Santa belly because I like it. It makes me happy that Santa is a big fat guy like myself. But he's also Santa as Slender Man kind of thing. So do we give him really thin limbs? Maybe that's instead of giving him short legs, I give him really long, thin legs and still just have his belly hanging down. I think that's actually a good idea. I'm gonna give him real thin limbs. Some Jack Skellington stuff. And then we'll actually make them extra long too. So I'm gonna grab my little this. Oops. It's like that. Go and get rid of that. I'm gonna move this whole hand up in the sketch art. Like here. Redo some of this sketching. So, and we'll bring the feet down this. Yeah, redo some of the sketch. So that he has these really small limbs, or really long limbs. I like this. This also I like it. It's making me happy already. This was a good decision. And then he's got these legs like this. Have that belly still come up like this. Redraw that. Sketch this in. I might have to redo some of the sketching there. Like that. And then also those really long, freakish fingers. So, way out here on the thumb. And then, actually, what I think is going to be really funny, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this real thumb here like this. And because Santa wears mittens, just really long mittens like that. And then down here, the same thing. This and then really long mittens. Probably should do the same with the boots. Come in here, was drawing some Santa boots. Santa booties. There. I've been drawing more Bruce Timm inspired work this week, superheroes, when I'm doing my practice with pen and ink, or pen and paper. Pens I'll usually have ink. Um, I've been doing my inks stuff, and it's made me realize just like I never paid attention to the feet on any of the characters because Bruce Timm, his feet are just like, here's a leg coming in and there's a foot. Oh, you need to face a different direction. There's a foot. Uh, and it works. Like I never noticed it as a child, obviously as a child, or even really as an adult, until I was studying it. So obviously it works, and I should learn more from Bruce Timm. So there's our rough Santa sketch. And again, maybe we have like a little shadow down here because the tentacles are actually keeping the bag like afloat, like off the ground. Because it's not enough just to have long limbs. If you just have long, skinny limbs and are dressed as Santa Claus, you're Jack Skellington. Uh, if you want to be Slenderman Santa, you have to be dressed as Santa Claus and have tentacles. It is interesting to me. Slenderman is a created, like he was actively created as a cryptid on a website specifically as part of a contest to create cryptids. And so it makes sense, like all of the references that go into him as a cryptid. But I love that, like retroactively, there are people who don't necessarily know that. There are kids that were born after Slenderman was created. And I think sometimes those kids think Jack Skellington is supposed to be Slenderman. And that amuses me greatly. This is a fun sketch. I like this little sketch here. It's always nice when I can work on something and it makes me happy instead of making me feel terrible about myself for a long time. So I'm glad that this has been a fun endeavor day. So let's get his little Santa handlebar mustache drawn in. But Santa, why handlebar mustache? And I think I want to imply more face shape there without actually shaping a face. I come down here and do like actual little curvies like you would do on if I was actually like drawing in Santa. That goes too low. That beard goes too low. The beard should come behind the mustache. Do that. There, kind of like that. And really all I'm doing is I'm making Santa have wavy hair. Because I like my Santas to have wavy hair. You know? Just the way it is. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Then we'll split the hair around his shoulder, and that's what makes the beard. I think I'm going to draw in a little this, a little bit of that. And that's a Santa with a beard. That's a Santa beard. Except I'm not digging this here aspect yet. I'm going to fix that. We're going to redo part of this. So here, bring this mustache back in. And oops. You deleted. Deleted. I think I'm just gonna like have this, and that means this can come in here like that. Okay, there we go. That looks better to me. I like that better. I'm happier with that. Now I can just do the fur on the hat. Just going to keep it simple. Ooh. So, and there. Do. I don't know how people lived in art times when you didn't have tools like vector trim. Like Da Vinci, man, he didn't know how bad his life was. He didn't have vector trim. Imagine what he could have accomplished as an artist if he could have had modern tools. It'd be crazy. I feel like if Da Vinci had modern tools, we would be living in a completely different society. Also, I feel like he probably would have ended up drawing Ninja Turtles. Like that's not throwing any shade to the classic artists out there, but I feel like if they had access to modern art tools, they would be like, you know what? Ninja Turtles are the single greatest accomplishment in art humans have ever had. And then they would all draw that. And the world would be better for it. Okay. You need to be a poof ball. There we go. Okay. So we got that done. And I'm going to do the outside of this arm. Like this. And back come here. Okay, I don't know that I like the way this is being set up right now. So I'm going to ignore my sketch and redo this. So this comes here. Now that's the shoulder joint. And I'm going to bring it down like there we go. That's what I want. That's the good stuff. Those big spider-like, freakishly long arms. And I have no idea what this card is going to actually say on it yet. But one of the cool things about Christmas cards, more than any other holiday, is you don't necessarily have to have a card that says anything. Like, people will send out a Christmas card that is just a snowflake. So, you don't have to be nearly as clever. Now, the downside to that is a lot of my cards sell themselves because they're clever, not because of my art. So, it's like a double-edged sword there. Down here, and I want a sharp bend on that arm. I want to turn smoothing up. Like there. There we go. That's good. Turn the smoothing back down or it'll drive me insane when I'm doing this part. Whoop, whoop, ba-da, bup, bup. Bup, bup, ba-da, ba. So that's there. Just finishing this up. This has been fun. Um, so it looks like next week, when I'm come back on Monday, it looks like we might be working on an abominable snowman and a Krampus card, depending on how much we get done. And then I liked the concept of the mittens, but I'm not sure if it reads the way I want it to. So I think I might draw these hands in as hands. Because I'm not sure the ridiculously long fingers read, like when you look at the mittens, you don't go, oh, that's ridiculously long fingers. You go, oh, that artist drew those mittens weird. So I'm gonna do like that here. Oop, middle fingers are usually longer than the ring finger and the index finger. And the index finger and the ring ring finger are usually roughly the same length. But did you know there is an entire like form of divination and fortune telling based on the length differences between your index finger and your ring finger? Like supposedly if your index finger is longer, it means one thing, and if your ring finger is longer, it means something else. I don't know what those things mean. I just know that that's a thing in the world out there that's out there right now. You could go and learn about if you wanted to Google it. Smoothing back up again. So, I was talking on Wednesday about how I would like to get away from Adobe products in general, if I could. And so I've been playing with Procreate more and realizing more and more that I still don't like it. But I found out that it might not entirely be Procreate's fault that I don't like it. I mean, part of it is, but I mean, it entirely is the company's fault, but not the app itself. Apparently, there is a bug. So, my problem with Procreate is that there is ridiculous brush lag. All of the brushes lag really bad for me, no matter what I do. It's almost like I can't turn off the stabilization feature. And it turns out that's exactly what is happening. So there is a bug in Procreate that makes it so you cannot turn off the stabilization feature. And that causes a lot of lag on brushes, which drives me absolutely bananas. So it is Procreate, the company's fault, because they should have fixed that bug. It's like 4 years old and it's been reported hundreds of times and they haven't fixed it yet. But it's not Procreate the app's fault because it's a bug and that's not the way it's supposed to work. But still, fix your stuff. I want to support you, but fix your stuff. So I guess right now I am probably still not going to be able to get away from Fresco. Although my primary reason for wanting to get away from Adobe is not nearly as moral high groundy as a lot of other people. I am tired of spending $600 a year on Creative Cloud and would like to be able to use less expensive alternatives. Also, I do really like supporting open source projects. So if I can find open source alternatives that are as good as my proprietary versions from Adobe, I will use those. And right now, I have been working with working on DaVinci Resolve for videos. And as I learn it, as I get more comfortable with it, I'm enjoying it more. It is a steep learning curve because it is a very different editing style to Premiere Pro. But I think I have a little bit of an advantage because it uses node based editing for a lot of the actual Premiere Pro, the non-linear video editing is very similar actually to Premiere Pro. It's the parts, the motion graphic parts, the compositional parts that are different, and it uses node based editing for the compositional tools. And where I have a little bit of a benefit with that is that Blender also uses node based editing. And I've been learning Blender for years now. And I say learning because every time I am able to dedicate time to Blender, like it's changed and I start back over from a somewhat beginner position. But Blender is a great piece of, Blender is a good example of an open source software that does exactly what the expensive competitors do. Blender is free open source software that is probably the would be the industry standard for 3D art uh, design if it wasn't for marketing, really. You know what? I don't know why I'm drawing Santa Claus with these poofy things on his jacket. Santa doesn't have pom pom poofs. Santa has a fur lined jacket. So, it's not pom pom poofs. This should be one solid fur thing. Oops. Come down like this. Alright, I'm going to start on this side. Alright. 50% there. Okay. We're just going to do like this. We'll do the work. That's what was throwing me off before. I was like, why does my Santa look like a clown? Because I was giving him pom poms and not a Santa coat. And then we'll come around like this. Just draw in some loopy loops. Because I want to keep it simple, but I also don't want it to be entirely lazy about how I'm doing it. I could be. I could be lazy about it. I'm not even sure people notice. Like, oh, I'm lazy. And they'd be like, oh, no, you're just untalented. Oh, sad panda. So, anyway, I've been having a lot of fun with this today. And I'm glad for that. I am working on an actual video for next week to hopefully go out on Tuesday. If it doesn't go out on Tuesday, I'll have wasted a lot of time because Tuesday is my birthday. And the video actually doesn't have anything to do with it being my birthday, but it just so happens that it was my birthday last year when I got back to Missouri from Montana. I left on Saturday and got back on Sunday. Got here. So Tuesday will be my 1 year anniversary back in Missouri. And that has to do with the theme of the video. I'm doing a video just saying here's what my 1 year trying to be a creative entrepreneur has been like, and just kind of talking about that and why I'm doing this, why I'm making more video content, Um, and it's one of those things where synchronicity has really been kicking in because part of my mission statement as Taco Viking Studios is the belief that geek spaces need to be inclusive, like safe places. Like the entire concept of nerddom, of being a geek, needs to live in this inclusive environment. And I feel like that's been lost a lot in the last couple of decades in particular. So part of my mission statement was like, I want to bring back this nerdiness and the inclusivity of nerdiness and just like embrace that uh everybody belongs, like get rid of the gatekeeper concept kind of thing. uh and I haven't done a lot. I wasn't feeling like I had done a lot to really live that mission statement as part of the company until this past week, when I've had a few people like kind of go out of their way to tell me basically that they like they appreciate that I am welcoming and open to a lot of people and just try to make people happy. And that is a big part of what I'm trying to do in general in life. It's this is I'm getting now I'm getting into my mental health stuff too. So I have bipolar disorder, and that means my brain can be very negative most of the time. I don't know if it's actually bipolar disorder that makes my brain negative. My brain can be very negative most of the time. Uh, and one of the things that I tell myself is the world is full of pain and suffering. And if I can do anything to alleviate some of that, then I am doing good in the world. And that's kind of what I've been trying. Like I said, that kind of it all comes hand in hand together. And I've had people in the last week tell me, they appreciate that I am welcoming to everyone, that I don't I'm trying not to toot my own horn, but just saying it's like it's come up that has it's been good for me because it's come up that people see that, and it's a reminder of why I do what I do. Um, there are some kids, for lack of better terminology, they're not all children, but they are all younger people who are at the market with me quite often, and they have some neurodivergencies, and they are people whom others might have obviously given them a hard time, and so they're a part of that. Like, thank you for just letting us hang out and talk to you all day long. Um, usually it comes up with like, sorry if I'm being annoying, and I'm like, you're not being annoying. You're being a cool person. You're enjoying a hobby and a thing that you're passionate about. And anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just I had needed that reminder, and so that's kind of part of what's going on. Why I'm making the video for myself also. Um, I just kind of needed a little thing to remind me that there's sometimes I need a reminder that what I'm doing is valuable, that people it impacts lives. So yeah, there will be more about that and more eloquently put in that video. Actually, with like a scripted writing where my thoughts are organized and functional. I'm having a hard time drawing this little sack closure area here. So I think I'm just gonna go old school on it and draw in like a knot. This is a big circle that represents a knot. And here is one tie away like this. And here is one tie away like that. Still don't like it. There, that's what it needs. It needs one of those things like that. And then one of these things like this. There we go. There we go. Okay. And I'm actually going to draw in this shadow down here. Like so. There's our slender manta. Santa Man. I'm gonna have to brain workshop some of this. Also, he has 1, 2, 3, 4 tentacles coming to the bag and only 2 tentacles coming off of himself. So we're just gonna draw in a couple of more tentacles here. Come in like this. Back. There. So there's there. That looks pretty cool. I like this. This is a good little drawing. We got 4 minutes. Can we get the color? And I'm 100% sure I can get the flat in, if not anything else. Deselect. Get rid of these spaces that are not part of the character. Okay. There. What is? There we go. Okay. Let's do this. All right. Let's see. I'm going to start with white. I'm going to turn this white off. We're going to start with whites. Oops. I need to set the reference layer first. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. We'll do that. His beard. All of the fur trim on his Santa clothes. I've got a line that did not get trimmed, and that is also some sections of the thing that should not have been in the background color. Need to be cleaned out. Boop, 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 boop. There. I think that's all of everything I want to have that is white. We're going to go ahead and while we've got white up, I'm going to darken that way down to a real dark gray, almost black for his boots. And we'll do one of my standard brown colors for the bag. Like that. We'll grab red for all the Santa clothes that needs to be red. So, and then a white that is just barely yellow for the skin color. Oops. What color should? Oh no, no, no! Banana pops. Those were all done on this wrong layer. Boop, 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 boop. Wrong layer, McGee. I do that all the time. Makes me sad. Okay, let's redo those colors. Red. Red. This is what happens when you try to hurry. Mess everything up. All right, now dark gray, dye black, brown, and I actually think I want this to be a little less saturated, maybe a little more saturated, but a little brighter. More maggoty white. And then what color do we want the tentacles to be? My inclination is to do green because that is a good tentacle color, and also red and green is Christmas. That doesn't look too bad. We can live with that. And dark gray, boots gray, again for that shadow piece. And then I'm just going to release this reference and make all of this black in the background for a handful of reasons. All right. So that's not too bad. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'll come in. Maybe I'll make his suit dark. I'm gonna play with this again some this weekend. Some more tonight. It is 5:30 though, so it's time for me to call the stream. Thank you everybody who came out and said hi, contributed. Thanks for everybody for watching. If you're watching this on the VOD later, thank you for that too. If you like watching me design products, be sure to give this a like and a subscribe, and leave me a comment letting me know what your favorite Christmas cryptid could be. Like, maybe we can do some other Christmas cryptids. Maybe we'll have a Chris Macabre and Wind Christmas. Puns need work today. Anyway, thank you for coming by. If you are in Springfield and you want to come see me, you can find me at the C Street Market on Thursdays, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This week I will have some Cthulhu, the criminal stickers. I've got 200 of them that will be available. First come, first serve. I'll have 150 of them on Saturday, 50 of them next Thursday. And if you are not in Springfield, or you don't want to have to fight with people to make sure that you get your sticker, you can always sign up for Patreon, for my Patreon at patreon.com/TacoVikingStudios, and have them mailed directly to you, including the Patreon exclusive, The Principal. Again, thank you for watching. I have been Matt Brotherson. I hope you will join me on Monday. I will be back 4 o'clock Monday afternoon to work on some more Christmas cards, probably. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day. It is the one day of a year that is 100% about not working. The entire point of the holiday is to enjoy yourself because you've earned it as part of the labor that drives this country. Have a great time. If you're in this area, stay cool but dry. And if you're in another part of the country, stay safe in your weather. Have a great time. I will see you next time. And remember, as always, to stay